What if the host you've trusted for decades suddenly felt different? What if the calm, polished, no-nonsense voice you've listened to every Saturday morning started giving off a vibe that something had changed? To QVC fans, Leah Williams has been a familiar face for nearly 3 decades. She's part of the life, not just a host, but a routine, a presence, a mood. But lately, that mood has shifted. And in QVC forums across the internet, fans are starting to notice. And they're talking. Because the Leah Williams we're seeing now isn't exactly the Leah we've always known. So, what's going on? Let's rewind for a second. Leah joined QVC back in 1996. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't loud. But that's exactly what people loved. She was calm, friendly, detailed, the kind of host who never talked over her guests and never made the sale feel pushy. She owned the Saturday morning slot with AM Style with Leah Williams, turning it into one of the most beloved routines in the shopping channel world. For many, waking up on a weekend meant coffee, quiet time, and Leah. But then 2023 came, and something started to feel off. It began with a schedule shift. Suddenly, Leah was missing from her usual spot. No big announcement, no farewell, no update. She was just gone. Fans went into detective mode. One forum post asked, "Where is Leah Williams?" 5 question marks in all. Another viewer wrote, "What's happening to Leah Williams' show? Please stop changing it." Theories exploded. Was she sick? Was she retiring? Was QVC quietly phasing her out? Then, just as quickly, she reappeared. No explanation, no big return, just back. Like nothing happened. But fans noticed something deeper than the schedule shuffle. It wasn't just when Leah was on, it was how she was acting. Her voice, quieter, her tone, more measured, her energy, almost distant. One viewer posted, "She just doesn't seem like herself anymore." Another chimed in, "I used to love how she'd laugh and chat and make the show feel light. Now it feels like she's holding back." That's when the phrase started showing up in the forums. What's going on with Leah? And once that question took hold, it didn't let go. Some fans defended her, saying she's always been low-key, that Leah's never been a big personality. She's not like Sean Killinger with her chaotic energy, or Jane Treacy with her roller coaster of emotions. But others weren't buying it. One user wrote, "This is more than calm. This is cold. Something's changed." Then came the harsher takes. Comments started resurfacing from years ago. Old blog posts criticizing her tone, calling it flat, even robotic. One brutally honest fan once said, "She used to screech, then she disappeared. When she came back, the screeching was toned down. Now she's toned down so much, I'm not sure she's even into it anymore." Ouch. But not everyone was piling on. One longtime viewer said, "Leah is the only one left who treats the products with respect. She doesn't talk over people. She doesn't make it about her. That's rare now." Still, that didn't stop the rumor mill. Some speculated that Leah was being told to act differently, that QVC was pushing her to be more polished, more on message. Others thought maybe she was dealing with something personal. One comment read, "She lost weight, her voice is softer, her smile is tighter. I think something's going on behind the scenes." That's where the theory really took off, because fans started digging deeper. They pointed out that Leah had shared in interviews that she had hit her highest weight a few years back and decided to make a change. She lost 40 pounds through diet and exercise. No gimmicks, just common sense. She said it was about health, not looks. But fans noticed the physical transformation and couldn't help wondering if something else changed too. "Leah looks amazing," one viewer wrote, "but she doesn't seem happy." Another said, "I admire her discipline, but I miss the warmth, the sparkle." Others even noticed how she's posting less behind-the-scenes content. Less personality, more promo. Her Instagram, once sprinkled with selfies and light banter, now feels more like a corporate extension than a personal space. And fans have noticed. Some went a step further, speculating that the shift wasn't just in tone, but in control. One fan said, "Her content feels like it's been filtered through 5 PR reps. It doesn't feel like Leah anymore." Another added, "I miss when she'd post real-life stuff, a crooked Christmas tree, her cats, her coffee. Now it's all polished fashion shots." That's when the attitude conversation turned into something more. Some fans began claiming Leah's recent shows felt phoned in. She doesn't even try to be excited anymore. one commenter posted. Another wrote, "She used to light up when a caller came through. Now it's just deadpan." And that's where the real divide began, because half the viewers were saying, "Leave her alone, she's a pro." And the other half were saying, "This isn't the Leah we know." QVC, as usual, stayed silent. No statement, no acknowledgement, no behind-the-scenes vlog addressing the concerns. And that silence only fueled more speculation. One popular theory was that QVC was trying to nudge Leah into retirement. Another fan wrote, "They're phasing her out slowly. That's why her showtimes are scattered and inconsistent." Some even wondered if Leah herself was emotionally detaching, preparing to say goodbye. But then, something strange happened. Instead of disappearing, Leah doubled down. She started teasing a new fashion line, her own designs. She went back on air, not less, but more. She told viewers directly, "I'm not going anywhere," and fans were left confused. Because if she wasn't being pushed out, and she wasn't planning to leave, why did it feel so different? One theory, Leah changed. Because QVC changed. One veteran viewer explained, "These days it's all fast cuts, flashy graphics, fake enthusiasm. Leah is old school. She's not trying to be an influencer. She's just being real." But in a world where newer hosts are being trained to act like TikTok creators, Leah's style stands out, and not always in a good way. "She's too quiet for today's QVC," someone commented. "People want hype. Leah doesn't do hype." But maybe that's the point. Maybe Leah isn't the one who changed. Maybe the audience did. Still, it's hard to ignore the tension that's built up around her on-air presence. Some fans say she seems checked out. Others say she's the only one who hasn't sold out. And then there's the question no one wants to ask out loud. Is Leah just tired after 30 years of live TV? Is she simply worn down? One user wrote, "I love her, but I feel like she's just pushing through now. Like she's there physically, but emotionally, not so much." Another added, "She deserves a graceful exit, not this weird, slow fade." But Leah, she's saying nothing. She's still showing up, still hosting, still smiling, softly. And fans are left reading between the lines. There was one comment that stood out on a forum thread titled, "Is Leah okay?" It said, "Maybe she's just evolving. We all change. Maybe Leah's just quieter now because life made her that way." That comment hit hard, because whether it's about personal growth, professional fatigue, or corporate pressure, something has definitely shifted. Maybe she's protecting her peace. Maybe she's doing exactly what she's always done, showing up with class, no matter what's happening behind the curtain. Maybe, just maybe, she's finally putting herself first. The truth? There's no meltdown, no shouting match, no scandal caught on camera, just a host who's been doing this for 30 years, starting to look a little more human. And for some, that's enough to spark a firestorm. Because when you're a constant in people's lives, even subtle changes feel like a betrayal. But maybe it's not a betrayal. Maybe it's just life. Leah Williams isn't falling apart. She's not quitting. She's just being Leah. And maybe in a world where everything is loud, fast, and filtered, that quiet, steady presence feels unfamiliar now. Maybe fans don't recognize her because they're looking for the version of Leah that doesn't exist anymore, and maybe she's just fine with that. So, what do you think? Is Leah's on-air attitude really changing, or are we just looking at her through a different lens? Has QVC shifted around her so much that she now feels out of place, or is Leah just evolving in her own quiet way? Let us know in the comments. And if you've noticed something different too, drop your thoughts below. Because whether you love her, miss the old her, or wish QVC would finally clear the air, one thing's for sure, Leah Williams still has the whole community talking, and QVC still hasn't said a word. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insider stories, the ones they don't put in the press releases. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and always pay attention to the hosts who don't shout, because sometimes they're the ones with the most to say.